6. By 5.
Drei Gläser.
Two. That's no moon.
What's up, everybody? We are live. It is episode 39 of the Hardcore Casual Podcast. He is Jay of F1 Podcast fame. I am Mason of Radio Infamy, and we are the conversation at the deregulated energy state behind you. How are you doing, Jay? How are things?
I am going to try to get through this episode without you triggering me into a second bourbon pour. I'm trying to make it through with just one. Sometimes
don't threaten me with a good time,
Jay.
Jay.
And folks watching at home, we're really good friends, but man, we can definitely disagree on certain things, which I think is what I think that's what makes this show great. I say that now. I want to get all these good things out of the way now for when the pyrotechnics start to hit here in a minute.
And another thing.
You can't see me. I jumped through one screen and RKO him through the other. But man, I'm doing okay. It's been busy, and I was talking to Redbeard last night, and I was like, man, it's just stress on too many fronts. And I know you know what I'm talking about because of what you're going through this week. And I'm not going to put your crap out there. It's good stuff, though. Those are all excellent things that you're going through. It's the struggle that so many people that have been through that process. It's like, man, I think that's why when we were all playing Borderlands 4 last night, and all of us were hitting you with zingers. If I'm sitting there, I was literally playing going, dude, he's got to be sitting there going, oh my God.
Yeah, well, I do want to address that. A couple of things. First of all, I want to thank Jay so much. Jay has been carrying the load these last few weeks, especially of gathering all this stuff and getting everything prepared. I'd been swamped at work with other projects, and then whenever I wasn't doing that, preparing for big changes. So I guess I got the official date now. So I guess barring any unforeseen insanity, don't want to jinx myself, but yeah, I bought a house. So this will all be changing soon. So yeah, it's been insane. But anyways, Jay has been doing the bulk of all the research and everything on here, and I thank you for that,
thanks,
Jay.
buddy.
It's been a lifesaver. In fact, today Jay texted me. I was dealing with some of the utility stuff, getting utilities scheduled for the right day, and Jay texted me. He's like, "Hey man, are you almost here?" And I was like, "Oh shit." But yeah, it's been wild. So thank you, Jay. I appreciate you shouldering the load for us.
Well, no problem, man. Anytime.
But it has been a crazy week.
Yeah, it has, and we have a lot to kind of go. Well, not a lot of different stories tonight, but the stories we do have a lot of minutia and schmegma and ancillary details involved in them that could make anybody watching this episode go one way or the other.
I'm not sure if that word means what you think it means, Jay. You use it a lot, and I'm not sure it means what you think it means.
I know that. I had a captain in the Army. That was his thing for everything. And we made fun of him. We're like, dude, have you ever looked up what that word means? And he's like, no, somebody used it with me and I've been using it. And I'm like, so now I'm carrying his torch.
Well, we currently don't have the burden of monetization. So
yeah, luckily. So anyway, but yeah, I want to start off with a lighthearted story. So Borderlands 4 has been out for what, a week now, 10 days or whatever.
I think it's been 2 weeks, right? Yeah, it's been like
probably
2
been
weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
I haven't played as much as you guys have, but we had a great session last night. But today they launched the balance update. So for all you people out there that play very specific characters, and I'm just going to go, these are just 3 little quick hits before we get into our big headliner story tonight. But Amon, for those, 4 of you in the world that play Amon, the Forge Rage Knight or whatever his name is, he's getting some buffs to bring him more in line with damage and power, stuff that all the other ones have.
I was not aware that he was underpowered.
See, I didn't think so either, because we play with an Amon and doesn't seem underpowered to me.
Yeah,
but
he's like going through like Kratos.
Yeah,
like
so
taking people out.
Apparently, people that have already hit in-game level material in the game, Vex and Rafa can't hang in the end game. So, saw the rock eyebrow there. I noted that because you're a Rafa guy.
I am
apparently
a Rafa until Cash comes out, and then I'm going to be Cash for sure.
I am definitely going Cash. So I guess we'll have 2 Cashes then, because I sacrificed to play Harlow, but I will not sack Fly to play Cash. I am a gunslinger, witch hunter, demon hunter, guy through the roof, man. So I'm definitely playing him. But anyway, Vex and Rafa are getting some end game buffs. So for all the people that also my son so I guess we'll have 3 Cashes. That's gonna tweak Rob to
Hey
it.
man, it's just gonna be a gunslinger gang, man.
Yeah, he'll be at the 11th degree going, dude, we need people to play. No, I can't wait. That's good.
Everyone has 3 skill trees too, so
Yeah.
we could just take over the market.
Yeah. So anyway, so yeah, they're getting some end game buffs so that they can, hang better in the end game. And a lot of people are noting Vex's summons can get kind of boring, so they're going to tweak her to where she has some more interesting stuff going on. I don't know how that's going to look. Harlow is getting some tweaks to add value to stasis. I've already, and I'm not high as level as you guys are, but I've already reached a point where I really enjoy the stasis. I mean, the things that it can do are amazing, although you don't see a lot of it. It's more on the back end. But they're adding value apparently for people playing Harlow for the stasis. Pardon me, folks. I had a blood vessel burst in my eyeball last night, so that was interesting. I never had that.
I have a story about that happened to me once as well.
Yeah, you can. I mean, you can. I guess you.
I can see it.
Yeah, it was bad. It's worse when I'm full screen. I'm like, oh shit. Anyway, so those are the buffs coming to Borderlands 4. Let me see if I have any quick hit stuff. Another big quick hit game topic, because I have a feeling we're going to be on these other topics for a long time. Starbreeze, if you know who Starbreeze is, they do the Payday franchise. Apparently, they've been working on a co-op D&D project for all you tabletop D20 rolling, and I am one of those, although lately I've only been DMing. But the project got canceled today. They laid off the entire team.
So were they doing like a D&D based video game, or were they actually working on some sort of, wow.
They were working on listen to this, it sounded awesome. They were working on a cross-play, cross-platform D&D action adventure co-op game. Like, dude, everybody's dream game. Because most of the good D&D 4-player type games were before the co-op era. So it was you and 3 AI. And, so I'm thinking of Demon's Stone was a great game. The Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance games were great, but you couldn't have another person unless it was couch co-op. But yeah, they were working on this game. They shit canned it. They laid off everybody on the team and then made the announcement that they are going full tilt into the Payday franchise and staying with it.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Payday. I hadn't played until I played with you, and like Payday's great. But that's a bummer, man. I was hoping that, especially with Payday and the success that they've had in Payday, I was hoping that money would, which a lot of developers do, where they'll have a game or a series that really hits, and they kind of use that to fund passion projects. And man, it would have been great if they could have done that and just use that to fund this passion project, because especially given the huge hit that was Baldur's Gate 3, even people that had previously not been interested in role-playing games or D&D or anything like that sort of like opened a lot of people's minds. And so you would think that now more than ever, the environment, like the sort of market would be there for that kind of game that they were working on.
I'll tell you what I think, and this is going to be kind of a weird thing to say, but I think part of you will agree with me on this. I think they're watching TV. We've reached an era where we went through our superhero phase on TV and movies, and it's kind of burned out thanks to Marvel.
Well, they killed it, yeah.
And then we kind of went through a fantasy phase before superheroes and after superheroes. But I think Rings of Power kind of hosed it for people.
Well, and Lauren Hissrich did her part in it for sure.
Yeah,
too.
with The Witcher. And if you look at TV and movies right now, if you don't believe me, go on all the streaming services you own and look how many heists and espionage and covert things are in the top 10s on all those streaming services. And I think they see that. And I think
maybe we'll get that other Kingsman sequel.
Yeah, maybe. Dude, I'd like to get a Kingsman game. How cool would that be? Design your own Kingsman. Yeah, design your own Kingsman and, do your thing. I've got another topic about that too. I think you were alluding to the Bond game.
I was alluding to the Bond game, yes.
And I'm gonna save that probably for another time. But be thinking about it, and this will be a hot take, but I'm thinking that the Bond game is more in line with Alpha Protocol than it is with Hitman. And we'll change topics right now. But anyway, this morning I woke up, and I'm sure you did too.
I did. That's why I'm here today.
Everybody, we all woke up. Thank you, Jesus. We all woke up, and the internet was broke. Xbox announced.
This was yesterday, I think, that it was announced, right?
Right, but today the internet was broken. So
it was pretty broke yesterday.
And I'm not just talking about the internet. Like, I tried to go on Game Pass this morning after I read the first Twitter story, couldn't even get in. So apparently the amount of cancellations for Game Pass was so bad that it broke the site. And if you don't know, if you've been under a rock or living in a cave, or you work all night so you sleep all day kind of thing, they raised the prices for Game Pass by roughly 50% across the board. Specifically
for Game Pass Ultimate.
Yes.
Which is the top tier.
The one it hits the most, which is the one I am, is Game Pass Ultimate, is going up by an additional $10 or 50%. So it's going from $19.99 to $29.99, which means my PS Plus level tier is actually going to go down because of that. So I'm not happy about that part of it. They are renaming Game Pass Core to Essential, which is weird since that's what PS Plus is. And they're renaming Game Pass Standard to Premium. On a funny side note, before we start blood, guts, and spitting ass everywhere with our arguments and debates, GameStop has committed, on a funny side note, GameStop has committed to selling Ultimate Game Pass for $19.99, regardless of what the price hike is.
You know what? Get your money, GameStop. If you can find a way to make it happen, get your money.
That single thing is going to keep that store open.
Well, I don't know, because there's not a ton of Xbox players left to really go after, but you might get a few of them that buy multiple cards and all that.
This announcement today, and this is what I think really stokes the flames, as if the more cheddar you're going to need to get your subscription is that this is coming hot off the heels of a 5-year-old console getting basically doubled in price. And then the announcement that the Asus ROG Ally X is going to be $1,000. Now,
$1,000.
My thing is this: if you go into Best Buy or you go into wherever you order a PC from, if you're one of those people that buys a PC that comes in a box, and yes, I'm anti those people. No, you cannot get a good PC for $1,000.
Go to metapcs.com/Harkrin.
So, however, for instance, if you said, "Hey Jay, can you build me a decent PC for $1,000?" I absolutely could. I could build you one that would run medium to high detail settings for $1,000. Would you need to upgrade it pretty quickly? Yes, it's not going to be around forever. But the fact that they announced this handheld for $1,000. That blew my mind, and I was not happy about it. I was not happy about the console hike, even though I don't have one or want one. I'm not happy about this Game Pass hike at all. I don't like price hikes at all. Is it an eventuality of living in this world? Yes.
Not 50%.
But I would like to hear your points before I go through mine.
Well,
I will remain quiet as long as I can.
no, you can jump in. Feel free to jump in, interject.
Good, because I was going to do that anyway.
The illusion of the floor. No, so first of all, I want to say I think this is the first time you always hear about all this stuff, like this hype beast stuff, to where something happens, whether it's a Stanley Cup is dropping or whatever, like the Stanley mugs, or a new game or with this or that, and it's like, oh, it launched, or a concert, it launched, crashed the site, everybody clamoring to buy this thing, to buy this product, to buy tickets. This is the first instance I've ever heard of a company making a decision and their website going down because of a sheer vacuum that is created by the number of customers that want to leave your service.
Yeah.
Like that's like if Netflix went black one day because everybody wanted to cancel Netflix at the same time.
Well, you remember the first time the internet ever broke was when Kim Kardashian did the hourglass ass pic, and it broke the internet. And now we're talking about breaking the internet over people canceling a subscription service.
And I don't blame these people at all. I don't
either.
I'm probably going to cancel mine too. I didn't have Ultimate because I didn't have, I don't have a PC or anything like that. So I didn't have an Ultimate, but I'm probably going to be canceling because not only did they jack up prices, they also took away there were two huge selling points of Game Pass. That was one, it's the Netflix of video games. You always had this amazing selection of video games, and that's really cool. That's how I played Alters. The Alters, one of my favorite games the entire year. I played it free on Game Pass. Well, I mean free. I played it at no extra cost on Game Pass. Yeah. So this library, this Netflix of video games aspect was selling point number one. Selling point number two was that you got day and date release of these new releases for Xbox. You got them day one on Game Pass for free or no additional cost, whatever, you get it. But now they have taken that away and you only get day one access to games on Ultimate. So they actually removed features from the existing tiers, which is insane to me.
From the first two tiers.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's wild. That is crazy business to me. I don't know. There have been so many times where we would praise a move that Xbox had done, and then they come back and they make us take it all away. And we're like, well, what are you doing? And I am baffled by these decisions. I am baffled. Like you said, they jacked up prices on consoles. And that was one thing where it's like, is it a great idea? No, like it's like, okay, the tariffs and all that stuff. I guess you can kind of understand it. It's like, okay, not the greatest idea. PlayStation played it the smartest, where they were just like, just stayed out of it. So that was one thing. Then, like you said, they said they were going to do the $80 thing. Then they backtracked. Then they have the $1,000 ROG Ally thing. For every brilliant like stroke of genius they have, like this thing where they were going to do this sort of unified approach to games, where they were going to be the window, right? They're going to unify your libraries. You're going to have your Steam library, your Xbox library. All this stuff is going to be, all together. For every one of those, you get these. And this is, I don't know, the longest stretch of unanswered, unforced errors I've ever seen. These, it blows my mind. Their ability to step on their own dicks and just trip and fall on their faces will never cease to amaze me. So yeah, Microsoft, Xbox. I used to be an Xbox main. That used to be like my if it came out, it was cross-platform. I bought it on Xbox, and now I can't even recommend Xbox, and I can't even recommend Game Pass to anybody. This is just bad. This is bad. So there you go. I think it all sucks.
Okay. I don't disagree with anything you just said for all the non-ultimate members. I also don't disagree with the people that are ultimate members that are not happy. But I'm just going to list, these are the facts of the case, and they are incontrovertible. Although the one you did, that's the big dime you dropped, was the day one access. That is a huge deal. I definitely get that. That sucks. And for most people that are on PC, they know that it was always pointless, even before these price hikes, to have any tier other than Ultimate. I mean, you're basically told on Reddit and everywhere, even on Microsoft, that if you're a PC gamer, get Ultimate. That's the best way to go. So that being said, I want to go through some things. Some new features that are available on all tiers now with the price hikes that weren't before. You get PC games now on each of the tiers. You get unlimited cloud gaming on each of the tiers, which you did not have before. You also, by the way, for all those people that are ultra wides, for the first time ever, cloud gaming is getting 1440p support, which is a big deal. They're also reinstituting the rewards program to the point where you can earn $100 a year in rewards for playing, which can be used to buy games, which are always at a discount if you are a Game Pass subscriber.
Or at this rate, 1 month of Game Pass.
Correct. You're right. For Ultimate, the game library is basically doubling. 400 plus new games. We got 45 today. And I went in and checked it, and I'm so happy. Like, we got Black Flag Gold Edition, which I've been dying to play that on PC. We got that today. We got a couple of I had it prepped. We got the absolutely superior, if you've never played it. It stars Michael Biehn. Far Cry Blood Dragon. Outstanding. Did you ever play Far Cry Blood Dragon?
Briefly, yeah, where they reskinned it as this like 80s,
yes,
neo metal fantasy insanity.
Yeah, so really cool game. We got Hogwarts Legacy. We got basically every single Assassin's Creed, Division, and Ghost Recon that they have. There's some indie games in there that I know people love, like Child of Light and Scott Pilgrim versus the World, which is a great game as well. So I'm just looking through there. We got the amazing Watch Dogs, or not Watch Dogs, but Skull and Bones, which I'm being sarcastic because that game is terrible. So anyway, we did get Watch Dogs. We got a bunch of stuff. So those were all added as well. Today, we have 75 day one games, and it's going to be an increase of 50% from the previous. 50% from, I know, I'm actually announced it as Ultimate at the beginning. Up 50% from last year.
Just reiterating.
We get Ubisoft Plus Classics, which if you already are on Ubisoft Connect or whatever, this is going to link with that, and it'll be awesome. For all you parents out there, and I used to be one, God knows I hated that game, but Fortnite, if you feel like you're buying
I thought you said I used to be a parent, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure, Jay, unless something happened before.
I don't know, man. They've gotten so old, I don't always feel like it anymore. I barely see my oldest. But Fortnite Crew, which is like their subscription service, is getting added to Game Pass Ultimate, which means your kids will get their Battle Pass and 1,000 V-Bucks per month included in the subscription. So this is what I'm going to say. No, I disagree with the price hike. I hate it for everyone right now, considering we've had a cost of living increase of like 31% over the past 2 years. Do I think they've justified it with the features for Ultimate? And I mean Ultimate only. Because I think, for the record, I think whatever it's called now, Essential and Premium, you're getting bent over without the petroleum jelly. But for Ultimate, for what you're getting, I don't think it's an unrealistic thing to not see a $10 price hike coming. I really don't. Do I want to pay it? No, I don't want to pay it any more than anybody else does. But I can understand where they're coming from with these features for Ultimate and Ultimate only.
So I can understand someone such as yourself making the argument that the value proposition for what you are getting, the value for the money that they are charging, is there. The issue is that they changed something to put it there. If they had created a new tier that did all this stuff, this would not be a problem. If they did a new tier, they changed nothing else. They didn't strip features away from lower tiers, and they created a new, I don't know, Game Pass Ultimate Elite. I don't give a shit. Whatever they want to call it. Then that would be one thing. But I don't care what you add to a service, to increase that service by 50% with no notice, like, I don't care how much better it is. You know, like, you didn't tell me you were doing this, and I have no other alternative to either do it or get out. Like, it's just not good. What they did is they should provide options, and what they did by doing it the way that they went about it was they removed options from people.
Yeah, and so here's the thing with that. I 100% agree with you on that. And I got to tell you, there's not any economist worth their salt that wouldn't tell you a 50% price increase, no matter what the product is.
I mean, yeah.
Overnight with no warning is, I mean, you're just asking to crash that specific microeconomy. You're asking for it to crash, which is exactly what happened. The levee broke.
Yeah.
There weren't enough sandbags to hold that back, and the levee broke.
And and like you said, everybody would tell you this. This is not some mom and pop company. This is Microsoft. This is one of, if not the most valuable company in the world. Like, what they have very smart people. They knew that this was going to create this anger. I don't know what they're trying to accomplish. It blows my mind that because they know they're going to get backlash. They didn't even try to do a thing where they're like, hey, it's going to go up by 10% or whatever, or even say like, hey, starting January 1st of 2026, we're going to be raising prices and give people, let people have the holiday. I mean, I just don't understand. I don't understand the logic here. Like, this is not, they're obviously a massive, remarkably successful business, not Xbox right now, but Microsoft as a whole. And they are doing some stuff that is straightforward, horrific business decisions. If any of them, if Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, HBO, if any of these services increased the price of their monthly subscription by 50%, they would lose a massive chunk of their player base. And Microsoft will lose a massive chunk of their player base. They were the ones that were pioneering this model. And we were like, that's the thing that's going to get them through. While they raised prices on their consoles, they launched or launching this new handheld at an astronomical price. We're all like, the thing that's going to get them through is going to be Game Pass. They're going to be a services company. They're going to make games and they're going to provide a service, and that's how they're going to see. Xbox is going to be this services company. And now they just gave you nothing but excuses to cancel that service. It blows my mind. I just cannot conceive of why they would do this. There has to be a reason, but I just don't know what it is.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, I know that. So we need to put a line in everything we've talked about and then what I'm about to say. I felt like when I logged in this evening that it should have been a notice saying, "Thank you for not canceling today. Your next 3 months are free." I think I should have got a perk for not canceling today. But anyway, I guess I didn't. Maybe I will this week. Who knows? But I guess my perk was the 45 new games added to the Game Pass library.
Before you get on the other side of this line that you're drawing, I do want to mention also the announcement that they did where they talked about all these great things that they were adding and taking away from the lower tiers. That whole announcement where they were trying to sell this thing, they didn't mention the price hike. Did you see that? Did you watch it?
No.
So they did this whole thing. It was Sarah Bond, and like they did the whole deal, and they talked about all the features that they were adding and all the things, and Ubisoft this and Fortnite that, and da da da. The whole thing. They not a single mention about the price hike. Just look at all the things we're going to be giving you.
Yeah.
And that's it. They didn't mention the price hike. So it just seems so scummy. Sorry. I just want to be sure that we threw that in there, just in case you didn't think that Microsoft was being scummy enough.
Yeah, and it's funny because like I said, I don't actually disagree with you. It's just the realist part of me that's like, if you're on Ultimate and this is the things that we're giving you, I can see the tend. I don't like it, but I can see it. However, if I was not Ultimate, if I was in the boat with Essential and Premium or Core and Standard, whatever you want to call it, yeah, man, I'd feel like I'm like, what?
Well, I mean, if I was paying for cable, like if I was if I still had cable or satellite, and I had a price that I set, and then they said, well, guess what? We're removing the tiers. You don't get to choose a tier anymore. If you want the channels that you're watching, the 3 that you watch from your subscription, out of the 300 channels we give you, you get the 3 that you actually want to watch. We're changing nothing about your tiers. You have this one option, and we are adding 8,000 easy listening jazz channels, and for this courtesy that we are providing you, we are upping your subscription by 50%. Like, I don't care. Like, yeah, you could make the argument that, well, that's a lot of channels. That is a lot of easy listening jazz. Man,
I better get into easy listening jazz.
Yeah, if you're into easy listening jazz, what a steal, right? But if you're not into easy listening jazz, you don't give a shit. So
you're on K105 all through the night. We've got easy listening jazz.
They gave us a lot of easy listening jazz, and they're charging out the ass for it.
Let's hop on the train with Miles Davis and his latest hit. I got to tell you too, and I don't know if you would agree with this, and I just thought of it. Personally, I think what they should have done is just delete the other 2 tiers, change the name of Game Pass Ultimate to just Game Pass, and say this is the only tier we have. And it's going to be $30 a month.
Dude, just wait until after the holiday season. That's probably what we're getting next year.
Because I got to tell you, yeah, it still would have made the internet go haywire because the internet just loves going haywire. But I feel like that's more realistic. Just saying, hey, look, our service is now just called Game Pass. It's $30 a month. And
yeah, I mean,
you get everything.
Because Netflix doesn't have, we've got Netflix Basic, and we have Netflix Plus, and we have Netflix Premium. You have Netflix, and then you have Netflix that you can watch with somebody else in your family watching at the same time in another room. And then you have, that's like, so I agree with you. They should have just been like, this is Game Pass, and we have another tier if you want somebody else to use the same Game Pass account. So it's going to be slightly less than cool. 2 Game Passes, if you bundle them together and tier it that way. Like, yeah, I'm down with that. Just make it especially at this point. I mean, you've already pissed so many people off and lost such a massive part of your base. You might as well just go all the way and just say, it's Game Pass. Here it is. Let's see who's left.
Now I'm worried that they'll raise it again for the people that stayed just to cover their loss. Which is even worse.
It's coming. Like, they clearly are not. They do not value their customers. Like we had said before, whenever they raised the price of Xbox, and of course then we had the massive layoffs, which of course came right on the tail of record profits. That's always how it works. Record profits, guys, and slashing jobs. But
I also
all this,
love the tariff argument when we really never saw that come to fruition.
yeah.
But hey, let's still make the tariff argument.
But they were like the only ones. I mean, the Nintendo raised it a little bit, or whatever. But they're the only one. They were the ones that were like, yeah, let's just way up there. Let's just get it as far as we can go. It just seems like the most anti-consumer, just anti-business moves. It's just stunning. It's just stunning. They are acting like a company that wants to go out of business. Like they are trying to go out of business. I don't know if because these decisions have to go through a lot of people.
I don't understand how Phil wasn't just running down the hall today going and throwing a door open going, guys, really? Are you serious? I'm trying to keep this ship right, here kind of thing. And it's like,
I don't know, man. I can't. Don't buy Xbox, guys. Don't buy an Xbox. This is just the weirdest thing. I don't understand. I like you said, you can, stand from where you were. You can justify the price for what it gives you. Again, like you can't justify the change that they made, but the price. But you can't justify anybody actually like jumping. Like, who is this going to attract? No one.
Yeah, right.
You will own, like you were, and Xbox or Game Pass was exploding. It was exploding. It was only
people were telling their friends about it. Now those friends are like turning the other way when they see those people. Are like, oh my god, like it's their fault now that they got egg on their face for promoting this program.
Yeah, those friends are now going to look at them the way all my friends look at me whenever I talk them into buying Anthem at launch. And they have
Anthem is
right
so
to
good.
So.
Anthem was so good. Anyway,
so I don't know. It's just I don't understand. It's just the most anti-consumer thing. And like I said, Game Pass was exploding. We talked about it months ago. The numbers were insane growth, and it was not only was it growing on consoles and all that stuff. It was the main reason for the growth was because it was really starting to pick up in the PC community. I mean, people were really starting to see value in it. And it
made sense, dude.
Yeah, and they were doing gangbusters. So that alone, you were already rolling in it because of that. And then to go from that, now you make this that is going to attract no additional players, while also repelling God only knows what percentage of your install base. This is just the dumbest. This is new Coke for Xbox.
Wow, bringing out that nugget.
Yeah, this is Xbox's new Coke, and I think it's going to end much the same way.
Yeah, Pepsi Clear.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, to continue the world of bizarre, but to go a little more lighthearted with it, and I can't believe I'm the one bringing this up, but we've got to bring up Randy Pitchford's pitch to a room full of Japanese developers.
All I'm saying is that Randy Pitchford is our anchor bean, okay?
His spiel, if you would, please, on the new character coming to Borderlands 4, which is Cash, the gunslinger. And I swear to God, if they don't have one of his special moves be called Ring of Fire, I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, it was the most cringe demonstration. I don't even want to play a video of it, of him talking about he loves this character because he himself is quite the gambler and loves to do magic. I don't know if you got to see it yet, but I still want to get your take.
So
his raw, unadulterated, cringe fest.
So Randy is in fact a remarkably skilled magician. He is genuinely,
I think he meant actual magic.
But he is a genuinely skilled close-up magician. He's great at it. He does it everywhere. I got the opportunity to go to the launch party for Battleborn, and he got to see some of that.
That
there.
game was a winner.
Yeah, hey, we've gone over this.
Anthem Junior.
Yeah, but I loved it. It was a good game. It was a good game. It didn't get a fair shake. It came out at the same time as Overwatch. Overwatch overshadowed it, and now look where Overwatch is.
Yeah.
But he is a great magician, close-up magic. He is not, however, a good actor, nor is he a good spokesman, as we said. So, yeah, I really wish it was during our session yesterday. I don't remember who posed the question. Our Borderlands 4 gaming session yesterday. Somebody posed the question asking if, who do we prefer, Randy Pitchford or Todd Howard?
Oh, it was your buddy.
Is Gabe. Okay. And it's like, so it's like this is literally one's yin to the other's yang, where
they literally are yin yang.
Todd Howard is a fantastic hype man. This dude will get you amped for a game.
Yes.
And then when that game comes out, you're like, dude, where's all the cool stuff you mentioned?
Yeah, he Sean Murray's it quite a bit.
Yeah, he gets you hyped up and he gets you pumped for stuff, and a lot of it you might not get. Whereas Randy Pitchford is the opposite. He is anti-charisma whenever it comes to being a spokesman. Awful. The more he talks, the more he tweets, the worse it is for his game.
You want to buy his game.
However, those games usually deliver. They're usually great, and they would do so much better if he would just shut up. So I don't know. I love Randy. It doesn't always sound like it. I still want you, Randy. I still want you here on the show. Would love to talk to you about Borderlands 4 and some
I'd take either one of them, dude. I'd love to have Todd Howard on here.
Yeah.
And if Randy's one side of the yin and Todd Howard's the yang, that line that separates it, that's Sean Murray. Because he's like that halfway point, because he hyped up a game that technically was good, but ended up launching horribly, and is going to finish on an absolute sweet mint note.
Yep.
When it finally does. It's their Skyrim, dude. It's like when they ask Todd Howard all the time, he's like, it's not going to matter what we put out. We'll still sell more copies of Skyrim every year than everything else we put out. He's like, it's the game that will not go away. We can't kill it. We've tried.
I mean, that's a lot of people's introduction into RPGs with Skyrim. It's one of those things.
And a great one at that.
People that never had any interest. It's one of those things where it's like there's a lot of people that never had any interest in RPGs, and then they heard about Skyrim, and then they kept hearing about Skyrim, and then everybody they knew played Skyrim. And then Skyrim was everywhere. And eventually they're like, I gotta play this game. What is going on with this Skyrim thing? And so I know that it's been the gateway drug for a lot of RPG fans. So
man.
So anyways, contributions, a lot of them for both guys, and all three if we include Sean Murray. But yeah, Randy, I really wish Randy would just take a Twitter break, man. Just hang out in your restaurant and just do that. Let's just do that.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, speaking on a Bethesda note, since we kind of transitioned there a little bit, in celebrity Bethesda news, Walton Goggins is going to be made a character on Fallout 76. He's going to be a ghoul. He's going to be his character from Fallout, the show, in a new DLC for Fallout 76 that is a plot crossover from Fallout 3 and New Vegas.
Well, that's awesome, dude.
He's going to be wandering into, the mountains and hills of West Virginia on a plot story that comes straight out of Fallout 3 and New Vegas. So they're going to continue that storyline within 76. His likeness, but wait for it, also his voice.
Oh,
he's doing the voiceover work for all the lines.
Awesome.
So that should be pretty interesting for everybody still playing Fallout 76.
Oh, and that'll actually get some people to play. And the new Fallout show, the new Fallout season, be coming up soon. I'm looking forward to that. I hope that they dance with who brought them, that they stick with what worked, and that they
Well,
don't
that trailer looked like it were. They were.
that they don't do the Witcher thing, that they view these as cautionary tales and not blueprints, because we've seen so many shows start off and they're like, oh, look at all these people, now we can do the show that we really wanted to make, and just go completely off the rails. I hope that they stick with it, because the first season was great. I love Walton Goggins. I've always loved Walton Goggins. So whatever keeps this man employed, I am for. But the Fallout season was genuinely phenomenal TV. People that complained about it, I don't know what we must have been watching different shows. I love season 1. So yeah, the fact that they're bringing Walton Goggins in is awesome.
I even rewatched that movie Predators last week, and he was still. That's an older movie. I mean, now it is. He looks super young in it, and he played a really, really bad convict in that movie, and did a great job.
If you want to really see him young, there's always The Shield. You can see him in The Shield.
Oh yeah, or Justified,
but also The Crow Salvation. Walton Goggins was in a Crow movie, let us not forget.
Wow.
Yes. A leather jacket clad villain with, as you would assume, a shit-eating grin the entire movie. But yeah, he was in The Crow Salvation.
Based on all the footage and trailers I've seen for the new season of Fallout, he looks like he is now the central character.
As he should be. I mean, that guy, he was obviously the most compelling character.
Ella Purnell was great, but Walton Goggins, absolutely. Better story.
He just has a better avenue for a better story, just because he's obviously old. His life started before the Fallout.
Yeah.
And he is here. So we have the two things where we get to see his life before, we can see it now. And that just automatically makes it more interesting as we see, like, how did he get where he is? There's a lot. I'm not going to spoil any of season 1, but you learn that his connections to potentially what happened that led to what we see.
Big.
Yeah, he might have some connections to that. Ella Purnell did great. She's a fantastic actress. She's obviously going to be in there. But I think everybody just fell in love with Walton Goggins, and it's just like you said, it's just a really compelling story.
I think they wanted to showcase, especially for people that had never played a game, what a player's perspective is. And when you're a player, you're always the vault dweller that for some reason has to go above ground. And so you're learning all this stuff and taking it all. You're like, oh my God, so it's not as bad, but it is. And what do I do out here? And how am I still supposed to live and eat? And so they literally took us on the player's journey. But you know as well as I do, once you got into the whatever wasteland you were in, no matter which Fallout you were in, your favorite characters were never you.
Yeah. Nope. Like Fallout,
never you.
Like Fallout 4, man, Valentine.
Oh, dude,
that's everybody's favorite, man. Like, yeah.
I even like the guy that painted the effing fence in Diamond City. I was like, this guy's whole existence is keeping this thing monster green. That's great. But yeah, Valentine was a great character, absolutely phenomenal. In Fallout 3, I love the dilemma between the main Megaton and then the 10-penny tower, and Three Dog up there at the Washington Monument doing the radio. Really excellent.
And of course, in season 2, we're getting New Vegas. So
yes,
I mean,
which that also brought up a sadness because they obviously had to recast what's his name's role, because I feel like he would have got to play that role. What's his name from Friends that died?
I can think of his friend's name. I can't think of
Chandler.
Yeah. Chandler Bing was what was coming up. Matthew Perry.
Matthew Perry. Yes, obviously they would have used him, and he did a phenomenal job in that game if you've ever played it. Yeah. So still, yes, I am looking forward to it, and I can't believe I was literally just going to say, hey, Walton Goggins is going to be in Fallout 76, and that was going to be the end of it. But here we are.
Oh man, I love Walton Goggins. I've been a big fan of his for a long time, and I'm glad to see him finally getting his flowers. Man, he's been a phenomenal character actor for years and years and years.
Yeah,
and he's finally getting some recognition, and I'm happy for him.
All right, folks. So before you get scared when you're watching this video or worried, neither one of us have played this game that is currently you're looking at, which is the sequel to the
Tony,
award-winning.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say
the sequel to the award-winning Ghost of Tsushima, which this one is now the Ghost of Yotei. Ghost of Yotei.
This is a sidequel or a spin-off or something. This is not a sequel. This is not Ghost of Tsushima 2. This is Ghost of Yotei.
This takes place 300 years after the award-winning precursor game, Ghost of Tsushima. I don't even, are we even on the island of Tsushima in this game? We're not.
No.
Oh yeah,
No.
I knew Jobo was going to show up for that.
Well, they say,
I
feel this is a true sequel to Ghost of Tsushima. You know, the game that closed out its story. It did not close out its story. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to spoil the story for everybody. I did my whole thing on this last week, I believe it was. But it closed out the story, and it started another one. And I think it would have been more interesting than this, because basically what I'm hearing about this is that the story is essentially, this is what I've heard. I haven't played Assassin's Creed Shadows, but what I've heard is that the story is basically a clone of Assassin's Creed Shadows, which is ironic given that Ghost of Tsushima beat Assassin's Creed to feudal Japan, like we said, to the point that Assassin's Creed shouldn't have even tried. And now they apparently are aping the story.
I'm assuming when they say that, they're talking about the female character from Iga, the ninjutsu character.
Here comes Jobo sweeping for Ghost of Yotei. Now,
he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
True,
that part.
But the whole thing where it does have it's not very original. Now, Ghost of Tsushima, that had a very original story. It was very compelling. Your character was very interesting, and also your character was very conflicted. So, full disclosure, I do own this game. I haven't played it yet. It's been incredibly busy, or I've been incredibly busy. But I do own it. I will play it. Man, he is really going. So,
dude, he's passionate about this whole thing.
I
love it. I love it because I mean he is absolutely passionate about this stuff.
But I do know that for the Ghost of Yotei is a revenge tale, and they say that basically your character, her name escapes me at the moment. I believe it starts with an A. Atsu, thank you. But Atsu is essentially a mercenary. So there's no internal conflict within her. She is just a merc. And she has no qualms about doing what she's doing. And that was one of the things that was really interesting about Jin and Ghost of Tsushima, was how he was able to save his island by going against all the things that he kind of swore to be. But he was like, well, this is what I have to be this for the greater good. And whereas she is just like, yeah, screw this. It just, I don't know. I'm not nearly as excited for this as I would be.
Okay. I'm excited for this, but I also loved Ghost of Tsushima, but I want to bring you up to a situation where Jobu and I were in the same room while I was playing Ghost of Tsushima. And he came in, he's like, why not just go in there and kill those guys? But he's like, why don't you just go in? And I'm like, I'm trying to play honorably. So like I would always just like walk right into an enemy camp and just stand there until they saw me and fight. And he told me, it wouldn't matter in the end. You were going to be forced basically to lose your honor or whatever, which I didn't like that. That was really kind of a heartbreaking statement, that you can't stay honorable the entire game. Well, at the beginning, they're acting like if you make the choice to go Ghost, you're going to lose your honor. And then to find out eventually I had to anyway. It really pissed me off, actually.
Well, I can understand that. However, I would say a couple of things. Again, one, I do understand your contention there. Two, I would not consider it dishonorable. You're saving your people. That is honorable right there.
Yes.
But I know that you're saying though that you wish that you could have done it the samurai way.
Yes.
But there were times where you would, even in cutscenes, where things would happen, and it wasn't samurai. Like you're sneaking around, you're doing your thing, and that's part of the cutscene. So there's that. But because ultimately, it does not matter for your uncle.
Yeah.
Once was enough. That's it. Once was enough.
Yeah.
Even a single thing, that just the fact that you snuck around, there was nothing that was going to be good enough for him. Whether you went in there and you stabbed 3,000 people through the back of the neck, or you looked everybody in the eye while you did it, except for that one time that you snuck in and you broke the neck of the guy that was standing guard at his jail cell, that one time was going to not be enough. And so I don't know. It didn't bother me too much because that dude was just a dick.
And to Jobo's point about tropes, I feel like Ghost of Tsushima wasn't really a trope. I feel like it was one of those. But this, people are not going to like it when they hear this, but this is basically Kill Bill. Or if you want to go back even further and go, samurai movies were notorious for copying their plot off of Westerns.
This is, I'm looking for the man who shot my paw.
Fistful of Dollars, The Unforgiven, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. There's any number of Westerns that fit this trope. But yeah, most recently, Kill Bill. This is a Kill Bill.
And again, I just think it would have been a more interesting and compelling story to see where they took Jin, because like I said, now the enemy that he is fighting would be the very same people that he fought beside. The same people that he saved are now the people that are hunting him down. I think that would be a much more interesting story. Again, as I said before, Jobo thinks that would not be an interesting story, I guess. But I'm sure this game will be great. The first one was great. And dude, I did all this. Did you do the side quests, sir? I did yes, I platinumed this thing, dude.
Wow. Do I need to be here for this part of the conversation?
Yeah, no, apparently not.
Dinner or something.
So anyways, yeah, I think that they lost an opportunity. However, I'm sure this is going to be a good game. I'm sure it's going to play like butter. They know what they're doing. While the story may not be the story that I personally wanted, I'm sure it's still going to be good, even though it is tropey. So I do feel like they missed a bit of an opportunity, but it's one that I hope that they go back to. And perhaps whenever they go back to it, if they go back to Ghost of Tsushima and Jin as a character, perhaps they will move the gameplay forward to a greater extent. Because like you had mentioned before we actually started the show, another thing I've heard a lot is that the gameplay is essentially the same thing. I know they made a couple of things. There's like a wolf that you can now kind of like have a little use in certain situations. But
and the grapple hook, I think the grapple hook is a huge addition. Which is
that was
wait, yeah, one. You had that on the first one. Never mind.
You just had to go into it a little ways before you.
Yeah, that's right. But man, here's the thing I think they missed out on, and I want this to be like a Spice Blow moment. Although you've probably already thought of this, and I'm sure Jobo has. If they hadn't decided to go 300 years past Ghost of Tsushima and made it closer, made her story closer, how cool would it have been for her to go through this whole revenge plot, and at the very end of the game, she walks up on a hilltop and Jin's standing there, and he's, basically that whole, I understand what you've been through, but that gives you no right to terrorize the blah, blah, this and that, and have the final mission be a duel with Jin Sakai at the end. How freaking cool would that would have been cool, I think. And it can't happen. You're talking about 300-year gap here. I mean, it's Kirk and Picard, for God's sakes.
Yeah. But
although they did make that happen.
Yeah. But that's it. Again, I have a hair in my mouth and I can't get, but
doesn't anyway. That suck? Is that like one of the worst things ever?
Yeah. But I'm looking. I'm sure it's going to be a great game. I'm sure it'll play. Like I said, I'm sure it'll play like butter. I'm sure it'll be really rewarding. I'm still just going to miss Jin and look forward to more with him. But I am going to look forward to this game. I'm excited. I think it's probably going to be a great play. So looking forward to that. And obviously other games that were. I was actually. I don't remember who I was talking. It might have been us whenever we were doing whenever we're playing Borderlands 4, but thinking about upcoming releases. But for the rest of the year, there's nothing really coming out that I'm particularly excited. I know Battlefield 6 is coming out.
Yes,
but that's not,
man.
I'm not. I'll play it, I'm sure, but I'm not a huge Battlefield 6 guy or Battlefield guy in general. But the one that I think the next game that I am like the next big release that I am looking forward to is 007. Whenever that is, I think that's the next big one that I'm looking forward to.
Without a doubt. And I love Battlefield, but yes, Bond is definitely the one that's on my radar the most. So hold on, let me get this because we don't need to talk about this anymore. But so before I get into, also we've got, and these are somewhat confirmed rumors that the Splinter Cell game that we're getting is a remake of the original game. So those are some of the nasty rumors coming out of Game Press land right now is that the Splinter Cell game we're getting is a remake. And I bring it up because I want to talk about Death Watch, the show that's coming to Netflix on the 14th. But, of all the Ubisoft series, you look at Assassin's Creed, we get one like every
It's almost like NBA 2K. It's almost like we get one every year.
It's WWE and NBA 2K. And then, we had For Honor, which doesn't get it. We've only had one For Honor, but man, the sheer amount of devotion that the devs have to that game and bringing content to it constantly. And I don't play it as much as Jobo does. That dude plays some serious amounts of For Honor, and he's way up the chain. But that game is a great game, and it's criminally underrated at this point, even this many years removed. And then you look at Rainbow Six, which has a almost cult-like following. Those people it is a cult. And then you've got Division, which, you've recently gotten back into, and we've played a little bit more of that. Borderlands has kind of put a hiatus on that a little bit.
We're paused for the moment.
Yeah, for me, Skate has done that because this new Skate game is blowing my mind. Other than the clothing and whatnot, I don't know what the new Skate culture looks like, but it ain't me. Anyway, so, and then you look at their other properties, Far Cry. Not every year, but every couple of years we get a decent Far Cry game.
Man, it's been a minute for Far Cry.
Yeah, and they're even slowly starting to bring Prince of Persia back because we've had that new Prince of Persia game, and then we had that new Rogue Prince of Persia game. That's been back, and here we are with Splinter Cell, and the only thing we've ever had is a couple of DLC missions for both of the Ghost Recons that involve Sam, and we haven't had anything. So since Blacklist, which, by the way, I know I sent you that picture this week, but started playing Chaos Theory again. Love it. And then I went ahead and started Conviction and Blacklist just because I wanted to see them again. And, it just makes me want Splinter Cell even more. Such a great game. And obviously people made comparisons back in the day. Not so much now, but back in the day, he was the Solid Snake of the Xbox. You know what I mean? He was Xbox's answer to Snake. And to me, it's like comparing apples to oranges, really. That's two different games.
Yeah, it's far more like, whereas Metal Gear was, absolutely about evasion. Splinter Cell, it was far more action oriented. Like, obviously Metal Gear, you'd have action sequences, but I think Splinter Cell, it was far more action oriented. And I don't. It was.
It felt tighter too. I think every move was. It always felt like Metal Gear was operated on the macro with the plot and who you are and what's going on in the world. And it was these, just like Death Stranding, like we've said a million times, you've got to wrap your mind around Kojima's crazy ass plots. Whereas Splinter Cell was always grounded in the real, and everything was second to second translating what's going on in that very minute of time.
And it was very environmental, whereas like so
Yes.
you being you're the espionage that you would do in Metal Gear, it was always kind of the same thing. Like, okay, you can go in a corner, you can wear a box to kind of hide. Not, again, this is not disparaging Metal Gear at all. Obviously, we're huge
Yeah.
Kojima fans, what Metal Gear did, but you had the same tools at your disposal, no matter what the environment was. Whereas Splinter Cell, the whole thing was like, okay, well, this one's at night, so you use goggles, or this one's in a room, so you have these tools available to look around doors or under the doors or whatever. You had different tools to accommodate you in different scenarios. So it was very much like like the environment that you were in at any given time contributed to the puzzle that you were trying to solve. And
Yes.
and it was great fun. I love Splinter Cell, and it's been so long
Oh
since
my
we've
God.
had one. I cannot believe that you have such a hot title, like such a hot IP that has just been dormant for so long.
2013.
That's wild.
12
Over
years.
10 years. So if they are remaking a Splinter Cell, one, if that's what I need to take, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah.
But the only thing I would think, if you're going to remake Splinter Cell, is that then you use that as a jumping off point to basically reboot it. So you started off in the same place with that remake of one, and then you make new games after that. Don't remake the existing games. Just go and do something from there. Give us new games, new content. But yeah, I
give us a solid voice actor that can carry the role.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, I don't think old Michael Ironsides is going to be able to do it for as long as he would need to. But yeah, with everything else going on, maybe the winds of change are finally blowing in favor of Splinter Cell making a triumphant return to game systems everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it'd be a great idea
because of Death Watch.
That being said, and thank you for dropping that curveball beautifully. We have Splinter Cell Death Watch, which I'm going to go ahead and bust myself out real quick. I thought this was launching last night on Netflix. I don't know why I thought that. I don't know where I thought I saw that. But then I was like, where is it? And then Google it and find out it's October 14th.
Like, well, I'm a little early.
Yeah, so I was way off. So it literally deflated my whole day. I was like, I can't wait to see this. This is going to be awesome. Obviously, though, just looking at this screenshot, Liev Schreiber obviously is voicing Sam Fisher, and I don't think they could have gotten a better replacement for Michael Ironsides. And Liev Schreiber is, an awesome voice.
I've always referred to him as, or heard him referred to as Liev Schreiber, but whatever. While he is a phenomenal actor, he's also, in recent years, he's really making a name for himself as a voice actor as well.
Yeah,
Kingpin
and here's
in the
another
Spider-Verse
thing. I hate to say this, but there's another guy with a similar last name, which we most recently saw play as Spartan 117, Pablo Schreiber, who also would make an excellent freaking Sam Fisher.
He didn't make a good Master Chief. We know that.
Okay. Well, we agree to disagree on that one because
that was just a poorly written show. He was probably fine. He could do it. It's just they just apparently hated the source material, and
I'm looking forward to see what Netflix does with the new season. I don't know if you know it or not, but actually it released on Netflix this week. Halo.
Oh, I saw it on Netflix.
Okay.
I'd heard that they had gotten it, and have they confirmed that they will be making another season, or just that they bought?
That's the only reason. That's the only reason they bought it.
Are they making another season, or are they restarting, or like rebooting it from?
Well, so here's the thing. I don't know if you knew this or not. I don't work at Netflix, but
no, I'm not. That's unacceptable.
I would love to work at Netflix. I feel like I have a lot of great ideas I can bring to the table.
Hey, idea number one, you should tell them, hey, you know what you should do? You know your subscription model? Without telling anybody, you should just announce that you're going to raise it by 50%.
Right. Obviously.
And tell people about how happy they should be about it. Because
And then give us
that's what a successful business is supposed to do.
give us a TVMA version of the Arrowverse, and I'd be a happy camper.
Dude, give me a Stephen K. Knight Arrowverse.
Yeah,
I'd be down for that.
Right?
Or was it Stephen DeKnight? Stephen DeKnight. That's what was.
Yeah,
not Stephen K. Knight. Stephen.
I
DeKnight.
knew what you meant. Okay, so here's another screenshot from the. I want to express some concerns before I get into some plot details. We obviously have a much older Sam Fisher. A lot of people don't realize that this is where people had a real problem with an immersion disconnect in Blacklist, because based on the story we had up to Blacklist, he was 52 years old, which means he was 54 years old in Blacklist, but somehow looked younger than he did in all the previous Splinter Cells. In this one, he is obviously in his late 50s, early 60s.
Yeah, or more. This Santa Claus look on him. He's
obviously pretty robust around section.
Well,
that's granted, not a small guy.
This is Zaddy version of Santa Claus, but this is definitely the transition from I'm getting too old for this shit to us looking at him saying you're getting too old for this shit.
So I just want to meter and temper expectations now for all the Splinter Cell loyalists out there. I don't think we're going to see any wall-based split jumps. I don't think we're going to see fast roping of any kind.
That might be a little behind him at this point. Yeah,
I feel like he's going to be the guy sitting at the table reading the paper, but he's got a 9mm hidden in a loaf of bread, and he's just going to pop people off. But so the plot. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, well, you're about to tell us what the plot is. So I was just going to say what I hope it's not is him handing the torch off to somebody else, because Splinter Cell, as we've been talking recently about
properties, you hadn't said that.
where properties there are some properties that can, sort of operate with somebody else in the main chair, and there are properties that cannot. There are some properties where it's got to be this guy, like Uncharted. It has to be Nathan Drake. If it ain't Nathan Drake, it's not Uncharted, and it won't work. Same thing with Splinter Cell. If it ain't this guy, it ain't Splinter Cell. So, okay, shatter my dreams, Jay. Tell me the plot.
Okay,
because I legitimately don't know.
And then we're gonna have to. I'm gonna give you the plot little synopsis piece, and then we're gonna talk about some of the characters that are mentioned in the plot for people that maybe either didn't play or it needs a refresher. So. In Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Death Watch, a legendary older Sam Fisher is drawn out of retirement to aid a new wounded agent, Xenia McKenna, who has uncovered a vast global conspiracy involving the powerful green energy firm Displace International, co-owned by the children of Sam's deceased friend, Douglas Shetland. Fisher, along with his old colleague Anna Grimm's daughter, and other fourth echelon members, must race against the time to stop Displace's dangerous plans, which threaten Europe while battling trained killers and uncovering deeper betrayals. So, for all you people that maybe aren't well versed in Splinter Cell, Doug Shetland was a character that Sam did not meet in third or fourth echelon. He met him when Sam was a Navy SEAL and Shetland was a Marine Corps infantry soldier. They met when they were in the war. Later, Shetland is captured by FARC rebels in Cuba, and it's Sam's SEAL team that saves him. And then later, Shetland betrays Sam, and they become not friends, and Shetland becomes one of the best villains in the entire series in Chaos Theory, which is widely considered the best of the Splinter Cell games. And I can tell right now that you are, in the immortal words of Joaquin Phoenix in the movie Gladiator, this vexes me. I'm terribly vexed.
Yes. I am terribly vexed. So it's exactly what I hoped it wouldn't be. So that's awesome. That's great to hear. Gotta love
By
that.
the way, that's Xenia on the left of that screenshot, by the way.
Yeah, I
just,
don't.
Just to further stoke the, without saying anything, I'm still going to stoke those Kathleen Kennedy vibes, but go for it. The force is one, the force is many.
I don't know why they insist on, hey, let's bring back the characters that everybody loves so that they can make everybody love another character. They're not. No, people aren't going to love the other character. They want Sam Fisher. And the other thing that makes me worry here is, so not only are they clearly going to do the thing where it's like, oh, we're going to make them love this other person by giving Sam Fisher, give them the rub. It's not going to work that way. But then we have Sam Fisher that's so old that, and maybe this is part of the strategy. Look, Sam Fisher's so old. He can't possibly be the main character because he's so old. But he didn't have to be. You could have made him younger. And he's at this point where he is so old, so they can't make future seasons of him being this. What they'll have to do after this does whatever it's going to do, and after hearing this plot synopsis, I suspect it may not do all that well. If they wanted to continue, they could basically do a spinoff where they do a prequel.
They go back.
Yes. And do something like that, because this, even if it's a well done version of this, is not gonna, it ain't gonna be it, because people.
And bro, I hate to say it, I'm just gonna be the guy that says it. And you know what? Screw it. I really just don't care. It's not even somebody, I'll be nice about it. It's not somebody that even remotely resembles Sam Fisher that they're trying to pass the torch to. Which, for all the people that have played the games, if it's not going to be Sam Fisher, it better damn well be somebody close to Sam Fisher and not this chick.
No, it's got to be Sam Fisher. It can't be anybody other than Sam Fisher. So Splinter Cell is Sam Fisher. Splinter Cell is one of those properties where it can't be handed off to somebody else. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work. So
no,
the fact that they are going to try to make that move, I think this one's already dead in the water. It's gonna be He-Man. Whenever they brought He-Man back to Netflix, and they're like, oh yeah, first act of He-Man, He-Man's dead. So now you get to care about these other characters, and well, surprise, nobody cares about the other characters. So I am anti-stoked about this. I don't. This is, why would you do this? Why would you do this? This is. I don't understand what you. It's the conversation we always have. You buy a license to make a show based on a property that has a built-in fan base because you want that fan base. So you want to make this thing, and then you immediately take that property, and instead of making a show about that property, being true to what that property has been, you decide to just make the show you want to make anyway, and just put a skin suit on it. So that's that property, because you assume that you bought the loyalty of the fans of that property, and then you just get to make whatever else you want. And it doesn't work that way. Look at Star Wars. Look at what happened to Star Wars. You took the most commercially successful property in the history of the world. And you ruined it. You took a multi-billion-dollar company, a multi-billion-dollar IP, and you made it a multi-million-dollar IP. And that's what we're doing here. We're well on the way. This sucks.
More along the same lines as the plot, though. But look at James Bond. We could have had Idris Elba. We could have had any number of actors from any number of generations. And this is who they had as 007 in No Time to Die. And it happens with everything. And I think you're right. I think the way Star Wars downplayed Finn, and Finn was such a great character, they turned him into nothing.
He was the most interesting character.
Yes.
He was the most interesting character.
He didn't have a carbon cutout, origin like all the rest of them. John Boyega, hats off to him. He played it as well as he could have.
Yeah, that one still makes me so mad. What they did to John Boyega,
dude. They ruined him
because it was the only window we had into somebody turning from one side to the other, right? Because every time somebody turns from the dark side as a Jedi and whatever, the very next thing that happens is they immediately die, right? Not a great retirement plan to be a Sith Lord and decide to change your ways, because it's basically guaranteed death apparently in the film universe. But when we had we had John Boyega playing
that was weird.
Yeah, I actually hit the space bar and muted myself.
Well, you sounded like you hit a springboard on our end. It was like,
but we had John Boyega as a stormtrooper, and a stormtrooper that immediately kind of has this crisis of conscience, like, wait, what am I doing? Am I the bad guy? And have this whole crisis of conscience. And dude, it was so good. And then that was the first movie, which I loved. I loved The Force Awakens. I know a lot of people hate it. I loved it. I saw it in theaters numerous times.
Can we talk about this for a few minutes? Do you mind if we talk about this?
No, of course not. But I saw that in theaters like 5 times. I love The Force Awakens. And to see John Boyega's character go from that amazing setup to being the plucky comedy relief by the end of it was atrocious.
Yeah, and he got lumped into the Rose Chan train or whatever her name is.
Rose T.
And I think she got a bad rap too. But anyway, because I actually liked her character at the beginning of that movie. But first off, and I'm going to do 2 different movies here. One's going to be Force Awakens. One's going to be Rise of Skywalker. First off, you're Kylo Ren. You've just been down there to take out Lord Santeca or whatever his name is. That was exactly his name. Anyway, you walk through and you turn your head and you see Finn's character. You know something's wrong with him. How is summoning him to your office not the first thing you do when you get back to the ship? That was a wholly unbelievable plot point, for one, so that they could establish a connection between Finn and Kylo Ren. And then skipping to Rise of Skywalker, killing off Kylo Ren was the most unnecessary death in the entire trilogy. That was so beyond stupid, because they could have used that Force dyad to form a new generation of Jedi. They would have given them so much material to shoot forward into whatever. Now we're basing the whole entire thing off of Rey, who is lying about her background. Let's make the first new Jedi of the new generation a complete and utter liar.
Yeah, from the whole thing was just poorly handled. So at the time that I saw The Force Awakens, I was under the impression, because why would you not be, that they had a plan for the trilogy? Because why would you not, right? Why would you not?
Right.
That's stupid. Why would you start a trilogy without a plan? Well, they didn't. And they had their intention was to have 3 different directors, and each director did 0 coordination with one another. None whatsoever.
Yeah, and that was what kills me is that was the plan.
Yeah, they had full rights over their own movie. So we had The Force Awakens, which I loved. And then we had Rian Johnson. And I am conflicted here because I love Knives Out. Whole thing.
I love Rian Johnson.
He ruined Star Wars. Everything that was set up in Force Awakens, Rian Johnson ruined.
So I remember telling, and I don't remember if it was one of my kids or friends or what, but I was like, you know what they did? I said, when I was a Boy Scout, we used to sit around the campfire at night, and somebody would do this activity where we would do this story. And one person would start the story. So 2 people are walking along in the woods at night, and they hear a noise, and you would stop. And the next person in the circle would start the story. And that is exactly what they did with that trilogy, which literally tells me they were flying by the seat of their pants. So you get J.J. Abrams, who writes and directs a movie. Yes, it was almost a direct clone of Episode 4, but who gives a shit, because they were both great movies.
When you do it that well,
if it ain't broke, Who
And
gives a shit?
And I really appreciated his dedication to practical effects. If it could be done practically, he was committed to doing it practically, and that made it look phenomenal. It looked like Star Wars.
And then we start getting episode 8 pro moment. I cannot believe we're on Star Wars right now when we were what were we even talking about?
We were talking about Splinter Cell and how they were ruining it.
We were talking about Splinter Cell. Now we're on Star Wars. That's great. So we start getting promotional material for Last Jedi, and the first one they release is the dumbest one they could have released, which was Luke standing in the doorway on Octo saying it's time for the Jedi to end, which sent freaking fandom through the roof, especially the people that have read the expanded universe. It sent them running for whatever door they could find. Nobody understood why he said it. Even Mark Hamill to this day now admits he's like, yeah, I don't know what they were. I don't know.
I mean, literally the first scene of episode 10 was let's get them all right here. No, sorry, 8 was I don't know where it's 10, but the first scene of episode 8 was an absolute spit in the face. I mean, because we end The Force Awakens on that epic thing. We reveal Luke Skywalker and Rey hands him his lightsaber. Like that is, and he you got this metal hand extended, right? The amazing cliffhanger to end on. And then 8 starts with him taking that lightsaber and throwing it away. That is not our Luke Skywalker, man. Rian Johnson. I mean, this is the whole thing. He's like, well, I wanted to play against expectations. Shut up. Like,
not in Star Wars, you don't get to do that.
Yeah. Well, so it's one thing to have a movie, right, where you sort of play with the fans' emotions and you make them think you're going to zig and then you zag. Star Wars has been 7 now movies at this point. It's been 7 movies. It's been God only knows how many books. It's been who knows how many comics. There's an entire history here.
There is 48 years of established dogma that you don't get to supersede with your little fucking movie. Sorry.
Yeah.
Pardon my French.
No, like I said, we are not burdened by monetization at the moment. So we had 6 movies where Luke Skywalker was the main focus of these movies. You can't, play with expectations on someone we've gotten to know over the course of 6 movies. Yes. And then you don't just play with expectations. You make him behave in a way that he would never behave. You make him retreat when he would never retreat. You make him almost kill a kid when he would never do that. You make Luke Skywalker, we got teased with Luke Skywalker, and then we were given something else, man. Rian Johnson ruined it. And I feel bad because a lot of people hate J.J. Abrams. They hate his tropes. They hate his lens flare. But he was handed a really shitty deal and having to try to undo Rian Johnson's episode 8. So he did episode 7.
I think
which
he did okay.
Adored. Yeah, I was about to say, given what he had to try to clean up after, you could not have done better.
Okay. So there was a lot of things for episode 9, and these are going to be stupid, superficial little things that brought me to the table and kept me at the table in episode 9. Number 1, I love Kerry Russell, and casting her as Zori Bliss was freaking stellar. If you've ever seen The Diplomat or The Ambassador or whatever it's called, Diplomat, on Netflix, you'll know what I mean.
I'm pretty sure there's a show for each of those things. I'm pretty sure
and there's also
an Ambassador and there is a Diplomat.
And there's also a British version of both of those shows for both things. Anyway, I thought she was excellent. The only thing I really cannot reconcile was the dagger. Anything that involved that dagger, like how'd you know what hill to stand on? How'd you know where to stand?
How does it even
how'd
work?
You know what time of day that was going to cast that
Why
thing?
would they make a dagger that foretells the crashing of that was the biggest Deus Ex Machina ever.
Why does light speed skipping screw up your ship? I mean, to me that made sense what Poe was doing at the beginning. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. And then for him to get cursed out for it, and then, dude, there were so many. Everything that I'm pissed about episode 9 has to do with technicality, not with plot.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that I'm an expanded universe, old school guy, and know that the Sith homeworld is Korriban, not Exegol. But other than that,
well, somehow the Emperor returned.
Somehow the Emperor's returned. And let's not forget, Hector's going to be running 3 Honda Spoon engines.
Yeah. Dude, so yeah, I adored episode 7, and I still hold it in high regard. And we in fact we did a whole show where we talked about all the things that we thought they set up. Well, in fact, they did set up. They just nobody played this whole Kathleen Kennedy. This approach of I'll just let 3 completely separate filmmakers make 3 completely separate movies.
What an idiot.
That we're going to try to weave. I don't know. It's the worst. So yeah, J.J. Abrams intentionally set up so many great things, and every single one of those things was unceremoniously dismissed, destroyed, and left, just beaten and bloodied. And we never got what we should have gotten. And it's just atrocious. Like I said, Kylo Ren could have been one of the coolest villains ever. The opening
redemption arc of all time, where he actually lived through his redemption arc.
And starting with the laser blast, and you get the iconic, like, turns around, throws up the hand. Darth Vader blocked a laser blast. Kylo Ren froze a laser blast in stasis. And the whole thing of him going and almost worshiping the helmet of Darth Vader and having this opinion, having this thing where it's like he doesn't realize he's already more powerful than Vader. Like he's already doing stuff that Vader couldn't do. He doesn't realize how powerful he is.
Which is a callback actually to Anakin, when Anakin was talking to Padme and was like, talking about Obi-Wan. He's like, in a lot of ways, I'm ahead of him, and he doesn't see it.
And this is one where Kylo didn't see it. Kylo had this esteem for his grandfather, and he didn't realize that he had already surpassed him.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
And they could have played on that so much. And
now it's over.
Nowhere. It went nowhere.
He literally fell down an effing hole, dude.
Yeah. And like we'd also said before, where in the end, like him, I wanted him to live because I wanted to know what that looked like. Like, we saw Darth Vader make the decision, turn to the light, and immediately die. Right? Everybody see them turn to the light, and they immediately die.
Anakin. Technically, we saw Anakin, go the other way.
And I wanted to see Kylo Ren turn to the light side and survive. And then he gets to look everybody in the face. All these people, families he's murdered. Some of these people, he's the reason they're part of the resistance. And they're just supposed to be like, wait, we just hang out with this guy now? Like he just gets to walk around the compound like nothing happened. Like he reduced the population by by a percentage. This guy is a monster.
The whole argument would be, what it would be. It would be, well, that was Kylo Ren. I'm Ben Solo. Also, you get to be split personality, and now we got to be okay with it.
But I wanted to see what that would look like, even if we didn't get a movie out of it, to at least know that story is there. That this guy did what he did, and he turned to the light side. And now, how do both sides reconcile that? How does Ben Solo reconcile that within himself? How do the people that he is now on the side of, how do they reconcile that with themselves? And even if we didn't see it on screen, at least knowing that that's a question that's being asked would be something. But no, he turned to the light side and he died immediately.
And he died.
Because that's the retirement plan. That's how it works. That's what we get. And it's just
Didn't even lose his right hand.
Yeah. It's just so uninspired, man. Like Star Wars, man, I was so excited after episode 7, and it has gone downhill ever since. We got the Acolyte. It's just been dog shit. It's been dog shit. And
so I know this is a Disney thing, and I'm not trying to wholly change the subject, but I will tell you this. If you're interested in watching Marvel Zombies, do not.
I am not, because
Okay,
I have no faith in Disney properties at the moment.
It's beyond terrible. And then finding out this week that they actually contemplated an episode of The Punisher where he spent a particularly long, painful evening with Echo as part of that piece. Thank God they shit
painful for all of us is what that would be.
But Star Wars, as far as Star Wars goes, Disney, I don't even know when the next property we're getting. I know they're working on that Rey movie where she starts the new Jedi Academy.
I am not confident that movie will ever be made and released.
Yeah, I'm not either.
My money is on it not actually happening.
Sorry, had to handle something real quick. Anyway, yeah, that's kind of all I had on that, except I had one other little topic that I think you and I will cross blades on. So
we're gonna cross streams.
Hollywood went absolutely lost their minds, comparable to what Xbox fans did. And they're on strike, the Screen Actors Guild, over an actress named Tilly Norwood, who's not actually an actress, nor is she an actual person. This is her.
I 100% thought this was a joke when I saw it.
This is not a joke.
I know. Yeah, I saw stories and so I was like, this is some weird meme or something. This is obviously a joke.
She's been in like 6 or 7 B-level movies, and this is what makes it really bad. She's a composite AI where they used pieces of different actresses to come up with her look and her attitude, including Scarlett Johansson. So Hollywood, understandably calling this a bastardization of the art form, and that's saying that if we take the human out and we use synths, they actually use the term synths.
There we go.
There's the beginning.
This is we are marking on the calendars. This is when it starts.
Yeah, do your timestamp right now. 8:37, 10/2/25. We have entered
in the year of our Lord.
We have entered Cyberpunk 27 / Blade Runner, and we have our first replicant. But yeah, you can see her here, and this was a fantasy role she did for a B movie, and this was another one that she did for like a sci-fi fantasy movie.
I was seeing headlines about people where they're like talk about representation for her, and this is the dumbest thing.
I just wanted to know where you came down on this, because here's my thing: if you offer a role to all the actresses on your list that you want to offer the role to, and they all turn you down, and you can't find anybody else, then I would say this type of shit should be allowed. But if not, this shouldn't be an early option, is my point. You should exhaust every effort to find a human being.
I just think it's dumb. I just think it's dumb. If you want to have AI in your movies, whatever, I guess. I don't think it's going to be good. I don't think it's going to be a good look. I think you can tell when AI is used. But if you have to, maybe you're balling on a budget. You need to use AI or whatever for your student film or your indie project or whatever. Okay, let's say AI. It's going to be a thing. AI is going to be a thing to some extent. If you want to have an AI actor, like I said, I don't think it's going to be the best idea. But what I do think is ridiculous is if you have a specific AI actor in mind. It's AI. You can do whatever you want. You could so this chick in the armor right here, right? So you got a character where it's a fantasy film and you need some sword wielding barbarian. S, and you could just create one. You could just put in a paragraph of text and create. Why would you need to cast specifically Tilly Norwood? Like, it just makes no sense to have an actress that you would put in multiple roles, when if you're going to use AI, just craft your perfect AI character. I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. It's stupid.
Yeah, and I mean, I agree with SAG. So I'll definitely back their play, even though, politically speaking, SAG's made some questionable choices. This is not one of them. I think anytime we talk about literally taking food off the plate of a human being, although honestly, with an actor or actress, we're not really talking about that, but still, not utilizing a human being for art is I think it's an abomination. And I'll go so far as to say, though, that kudos to it was a Swedish or Swiss scientist that created Tilly Norwood. Great job. I mean, seriously, you did a great job. And the fact that they show there's videos of her like hanging out in Starbucks, talking to doing an interview.
It's so stupid, man. I don't know what they're trying to do. I don't know what they're trying to do with this thing where it's like, it's just this is not going to catch on. No, there will never be an AI star. Never going to happen.
What are we gonna do when there is? And how do parents explain this to their kids? Man, seriously, like, your honey or son, or this is not a real person. We need you to understand that.
Yeah. I think it's a bad precedent, but fortunately, I don't think it's going to catch on. I think everybody's like, "What?" Yeah, I don't think it's going to catch on. But before we do leave, I do want to thank some people, and I'll say as well that again, I apologize. It's been remarkably stressful and time consuming going through this. I've had some projects at work, and then this whole home buying process. It's been crazy. So it's been several weeks now that I have not put out like an edited, curated, video out on the channel. So I apologize. I will get back to that as soon as I am able to. But somehow we picked up a new subscriber in the last day or two. So thank you to whoever that was. We appreciate it.
Yeah, and I've probably got another couple that are coming to join us. Also, I want to say that Jobo found a video on YouTube. I asked him to post it, but I think he's off now. Of Ghost of Yotei Jin Sakai cutscene reference, which I brought up. So apparently there is a cutscene video.
Not good enough. But
I don't think. Yeah, you two will have to agree to disagree on that for sure.
But that's all I've got. Do you have anything else?
Dude, I do not, man. That's all I have as well.
Excellent. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us for episode 39. We will see you next week for episode 40. And
episode 40, dude. We're getting close to that 5-0, bro.
Yeah, we're getting there. We'll make it. But
and I've got Singapore Grand Prix this weekend, and my episode is 140. So yeah, looking forward to that.
We're aligned. So, well, there you go, guys. So the Fuel podcast, if you're into F1 and racing and all of that, Jay is all things F1.
Yep, that's true. All right. Well, thank you all very much. We'll catch you all next week.
Thank you, guys. See you then.